For today's cup of coffee, we're going to do something a little more lighthearted since it will be the Sabbath.
Left me in the dark.
It's already started. This is continuous for us, folks. Part of it is because where I am, sun sign is in Leo, but I've got a lot of Virgo in my chart.
And I got a lot of Aries in my chart. You can't do this shit to me. I got a Pisces. My main sign is Pisces, and I have a Leo rising, but most of my chart is Aries. You can't just leave me in the dark like that.
That he will annoy anything. If he finds that there is something that annoys me, he will poke it with a stick till it's just, yeah.
I do find it amusing.
It's not amusing.
It's not
amusing. Well, it's all about your mirth now, isn't it?
Yes, it is.
Yeah.
What you gonna do about it?
I will beat you with the stick.
Try me. Try me, boo.
I'm trained.
I
am
trained
to beat people with sticks. Anyhow, what we're going to be discussing today is something I had alluded to in yesterday's cup. Here, hold that for me. And this is hobgoblins.
You fucking hobgoblin.
That is a real thing, and that was
it's a real legend.
That was a common phrase as I was growing up with my grandmother and stuff. They would talk about hobgoblins and different things. And I'm sure that I really don't know how long our people, well, some of our people were already here when the other ones got here.
Yeah.
But I'm sure that a lot of these legends and stuff carried over from the UK and different areas like that.
Oh, yeah. I mean, a lot of our ancestors came from the UK.
Oh, yeah. And so I have this amazing book, and I will have to separately show you the cover of it. It's called Spirits, Fairies, Leprechauns, and Goblins, an encyclopedia. And that is by Carol Rose. And I love this book. And it truly is an encyclopedia of these creatures.
Mythical creatures, cryptids, stuff like that.
And well, I'm not so much the cryptids that I have found so far, but just ancient creatures that everyone used to know of, and that we have forgotten. That doesn't mean that they are no longer. It just means that they have been forgotten.
Yeah.
And especially since Green Jay, he is one of the few people that I have ever communicated with that has actually seen fairies, or the fae, F-A-E, is how they are.
I would like to see fairies.
I would love to. There's different things. But anyhow, before I get too far down the rabbit hole, because this happens, the hobgoblin, this is a term used for a kind of nature spirit in the folklore of England. The hobgoblin is described as being like a very ugly little elf. The hobgoblin,
I think they're kind of cute.
The hobgoblin, also known as robgoblin, or the diminutive form of hobgoblinette,
Rob Zombie,
that must be the small ones, can be helpful and well disposed to humans like a brownie. Though usually good-natured and not malicious like the goblin, he can nevertheless be easily offended and is capable of playing spiteful pranks.
So he's just a little shit.
So don't piss him
off. That's what it is. He's a little shit.
It's like cats. And then we have from Wikipedia. Yeah, you can go ahead and show.
Dobby.
We'll get a better shot of that here.
Dobby.
God love him.
Dobby. He's a hobgoblin.
He is a hobgoblin. Anyhow, from Wikipedia, as far as the hobgoblin, it is, pretty much the same thing that Ms. Rose had said. But hobgoblin is a spirit creature of the hearth, typically appearing in folklore, once considered helpful, but since the spread of Christianity has often been considered mischievous. And I don't know why that would have changed its nature, and maybe it was just that they thought anything that was a, earth spirit
was mischievous.
Was not, I don't know, somehow they got
shits.
confused and said that, thought that they were not of God or something.
Uh-huh.
Anyhow, Shakespeare identifies the character of Puck in A Midsummer Night's Dream as a hobgoblin. So I thought that was pretty cool. Now, Puck was very mischievous.
Mm-hmm.
You've not read A Midsummer Night's Dream, have you?
Not one single page.
You need to, because it's very much as far as the fairy folk and stuff like that. You would enjoy it. It's better to... Shakespeare is better if you've seen it, if you see it. It doesn't matter whether it's live or whether it's a recorded version. It makes a whole lot more sense than sitting down trying to read it. Which you can do that, but, you know.
Yeah.
It's a play. It's meant to be enjoyed.
Watched.
Yeah.
Okay.
And the term hobgoblin comes from the word hob, which means elf. A hob is also a flat metal shelf at the inside or back of a fireplace, having its surface level with the top of the grate, and used especially for heating pans, meaning that a hobgoblin may simply be referring to a household goblin or spirit that resides in a particular location in a household.
But now, Dobby,
I'm getting to that. Now you've made me lose my place. Anyhow, goblin, a mischievous and early fairy. Hob is simply a rustic name for the countryside goblin, a piece of rude familiarity to cover up uncertainty or fear. Hob is generally explained as a diminutive for Robert, and here short for Robin Goodfellow. The earliest instance of the word can be traced to around 1530, although it is likely in use for some time prior to that. So this has given you the background of hobgoblins, all right?
Yeah.
And in folklore, Hobgoblin Hall is a 1904 drawing by Herbert Ralton of William Wordsworth's house. Why is it everything that is British folks is difficult for those in the Appalachian Mountains to pronounce?
House.
No, I could say house.
House.
Rydell Mount hobgoblins seem to be small, hairy little men who, like their close relatives, the brownies, are often found within human dwellings doing odd jobs around the house while the family is asleep. Such chores are typically small tasks like dusting and ironing.
Well, damn, I wish they would do that.
I was going to say, we obviously do not have a hobgoblin here. Often the only compensation necessary in return for these chores is food.
I will gladly give them food. I will give them
We will
offerings.
fix them a full course meal. You know?
What do they want? Fruit? I'll give them fruit.
While brownies are more peaceful creatures, hobgoblins are more fond of practical jokes. They also seem to be able to shapeshift, as seen in one of Puck's monologues in A Midsummer Night's Dream. Robin Goodfellow is perhaps the most mischievous and most infamous of all his kind, but many are less antagonizing. Like other fae folk, hobgoblins are easily annoyed. They can be mischievous, frightening, and even dangerous. It's your Aries that have frightened off the hobgoblins.
Oh, bullshit.
It is.
Oh, bullshit.
It is. He's runaway or hobgoblins. Attempts to give them clothing will often banish them forever, though whether they are offended by such gifts or are simply too proud to work in new clothes differs from tailor to tailor. And that goes along with the Dobby.
Hobby. Dobby. How dare you tarnish Dobby's name?
And the fact
How dare you?
when they gave him a sock that freed him.
Yes.
So
it's gifted with a sock.
It's really interesting that this has helped me understand a lot of the writings of the Harry Potter series more in depth. Because where, Rowling grew up with these legends, we did not.
Right.
We had little snippets, but that's,
We didn't get shit.
We didn't, because we're operating on ignorance. We've got pieces and bobs from every place, and we don't,
Now, if we had
we just trying to make it up as we go along.
If we had the old folk with us, maybe we would know about these, but now.
Oh, well, we do the best we can.
Witches. You should have shot a little closer.
Billy Blind is a clever hobgoblin or brownie found in several ballads collected by Francis James Child. Billy Blind helps humans in dramatic situations by offering valuable information and advice. Blue Birches is the name of a shape-shifting hobgoblin who played harmless pranks in the home of a shoemaker and his family in the Blackdown Hills in Somerset. This is why I get distracted. I didn't take Straterra today, and he's making it oh so much worse.
Come on.
His usual form was that of an old man wearing baggy blue breeches, but he also took the form of a white horse, a black pig, and a wisp of blue smoke.
Hi, Dad. Black pig, licorice.
Maybe he saw a hobgoblin.
Maybe that's what licorice was.
Well, you never know.
It's a black pig.
But, okay, it says, the family took his presence in good stride, but some clergymen learned of his existence and banished him from the house. Well, if he wasn't hurting nothing, why would you do that?
I mean, yeah, I would keep him.
Okay, Robin...
Just don't steal my shit.
Robin Roundcap, not to be confused with Robin Redcap, haunted Spaldington Hall in Spaldington, East Riding of Yorkshire, and was a hearth spirit of the true hobgoblin type. He helped thresh the corn and performed other domestic chores, but when he was in the mood for mischief, he would mix the wheat and chaff again, kick over the milk pail, and extinguish the fire. He is said to have been confined in a well for a stipulated number of years through the prayers of 3 clergymen. This is well known as Robin Roundcap's well. Well, I can understand if he kicked over the milk and stuff like that. That was a little,
Yeah.
He crossed the line. Dobby is another term for hobgoblin in Lancashire. Yates, I know you're going to fuss. It's like, listen to the mountain people try to speak, British. And Yorkshire, according to the folklorist Elizabeth Mary Wright, especially one that is a relentless prankster. Much like the Bogart, I thought that was pretty cool. Dobby's pranks may become so troublesome that a family decides to move elsewhere.
A Dobby's pranks?
Only to find that the Dobby has followed them. It says one version of this tale involves Robin Roundcap. However, one Yorkshire Dobby, or Hob, lived in a cave and was noted for curing children of the whooping cough. Dobbies could be just as industrious as other hobgoblins and brownies, which led to the expression, Master Dobbs has been helping you, whenever a person has accomplished more work than was expected.
Huh.
And there actually have been sightings. I will go ahead and include the article of the sightings, and so because some of them were interesting, and they were in America. One of them from Nebraska, another one was from Georgia, and a third from North Dakota. And supposedly these things had shown up at these people's birthdays, and so the writer, who was Paul Dale Roberts, had named them the birthday hobgoblins. So that was pretty cool.
Yeah.
And, it could be, what if these, well, apparently if they think they've spotted them here in the United States, maybe they were here already. Maybe these were earth spirits that were, assigned a particular area, a global area.
Maybe.
So,
I want a Dobby. I want my own Dobby.
I wouldn't mind one.
I want my own Dobby. How do we summon one?
I ain't summoning nothing.
I'm going to summon a Dobby.
No.
I'm going to summon the Fae.
I think it's one. You don't. No, because these things can be mischievous, and they can.
I want a Dobby.
They can be easily pissed. Well, see, that's like people trying to summon minions, which are lesser, evil spirits.
I want a Dobby.
So
I want a Dobby to clean for me. I will gladly let it clean for me.
That would be a thought. No, I'm not summoning nothing, but but like I said, I do wonder if these things are specific to certain geographical locations.
It does make you wonder. It really does. But I will gladly feed it. I will give it an abundance of food.
Oh, we would Yeah, we would feed it whatever it
I
wanted.
would make it a little house in the backyard and everything.
And that's one of the things, as far as caves, where do these earth spirits live? But I guess
They
the
live
fact
in the trees.
that they can shape shift, I guess that they could perhaps shape shift whatever dwelling that they needed in the moment.
Possibly.
Are these interdimensional creatures?
I mean, if they can shape shift, yeah.
I mean, that would make a lot of sense, too.
It would, yeah.
So,
I still want a doggy.
well,
And I will gift it with a sock when we no longer need him.
like I said, there are quite a few of the creatures that are in the Harry Potter books that I have found out just today are very much part of folklore from British Isles. What do you all call yourselves? I mean, it's...
Who was the mischievous ghost in Harry Potter?
Which one? Moaning Myrtle?
No. It was the other one.
They had the ghost that haunted the hall there quite...
I think he was in the library or something.
I'm not familiar which one.
He was a very mischievous ghost, and he played practical jokes on them.
I don't know, now I'll have to go back and watch the series this weekend.
It's not in the movies. It's only in the books.
That one
They
I
left
don't
him
remember.
out.
It's been a while since I have read the books. But now the
And
Bogart...
He was actually a very important... He was sort of an important character in the books.
The Bogart was what I couldn't remember the name of the other night when we were recording. That was the one that was in the wardrobe and would take the form of whatever the person feared.
Yeah. Hold on, I'm looking up the mischievous ghost.
Okay. Well, you look up the mischievous ghost. But we truly, as far as a lot of these types of legends, myths, beings, because I'm not going to exclude the fact that these things could exist, we have lost so much. Not only by...
Peeves.
Oh, okay, peeves. All right. Yes, I do remember that now.
Yeah.
We have lost so much of that culture. That's all you can say.
Yeah, very much so. And it's a shame that we have, because imagine if we didn't forget the legends and where they came from.
Well,
we would possibly still be seeing them.
Absolutely. I think that's a lot of it. I think there are things that surround us all the time. Now, how many times have we seen something dart by out of the corner of our eyes and we're like, okay, what was that? We don't know that wasn't some kind of an earth spirit.
That's true. It could be an earth spirit.
And I'm sure
know.
that people from over in Britain and stuff are going, oh, listen
We
to
see those all the time.
Listen to the poor little, hill country Americans trying to speak our language.
Yeah. But I would honestly really love to see some of the
Sure.
creatures. I really would. I would like to see the elves. I would honestly love to see fairies and pixies.
Well,
Unicorns, even though they're extremely rare.
Right.
Whatever.
Like I said, I think a lot
There
of
was
it...
actually video of someone actually encountering a legitimate siren.
Yeah.
It threw a crab back at them.
Okay. So, back at them, does that mean that someone threw a crab at it?
They threw the crab back into the ocean and it threw it back up there.
Oh, okay. Why? What did it have against the crab?
I think it must have offended the siren or something.
Well, I guess he was being crabby.
But it was a clear voice
Right.
that he was hearing out in the ocean, and he was calling out to it, like, "Where are you?"
Well.
And it never showed up until he was like, "You see this crab? We throw him back in."
Well,
Because he didn't want the crab, he wanted the fish.
There was actually footage, and I can't remember where it was from. If I can find it, I will include it in the description box. Of these people that they had recorded what they thought was a goblin, hobgoblin, whatever, darting across their floor.
I've seen many videos of that, and that was usually in Mexico or something like that.
Right. At first they thought it was like a rat or something, which that's horrifying. I'd rather have a hobgoblin.
I would rather have a rat.
And so that they had caught it on video. I think a lot of these creatures, the reason that people aren't, they think that just because something can be videoed or photographed or whatever, that is proof.
Right.
Not if it is a creature that is not confined to our physicality. Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
You know, our physical constraints.
There are some entities, as far as spirits and such like that you can see them with your eyes.
Right.
But as soon as you try to record them or video
they're gone.
them, photograph them, they're gone.
Right.
They no longer.
Well, and that was just like, I can't remember.
And sometimes they even mess up your equipment or whatever.
I think it was the gentleman that Blue had told me about, and I can't remember his name when we did the cup of coffee about the Bigfoots. Big feet.
Big feet.
And that they, as far as them setting the cameras, they were concerned that they could hear the frequency, because all electronics put off a frequency.
Absolutely they do.
And so that very well could be, you know, a warning sign. It's like, oh, don't get near this or whatever. It could be a frequency that, you know, repels different creatures.
Right. I wonder. Although, the cabin does have TV up there.
Right.
But if you went up there without any electronics, would you be able to experience some of those things?
You can go out in the backyard and not have electronics. You turn the stuff off.
But the stuff is still in the house and
well,
stuff
even
like that.
That's as far as the power lines and all these things that are surrounding us all the time. All these frequencies that we have no clue what they're doing to us.
We need to go deep into the woods or something somewhere.
Well, yeah.
It's a thought.
It is a thought. It is a thought. But it's one of those that we have been so conditioned by our modern world. If we saw something, would we know what we saw? Or would it be a matter of the fear overriding the excitement of what we might see?
Right. Because, I say, I love horror games, I don't get scared that easily, but if I play certain ones, whatever, and I'm like, okay, I'm expecting this, I still freeze up.
Yeah. And maybe that's why the kids are more likely to see these things, is because their minds are still open. Well, it used to be that children's minds were still open. But when you've got small children, we're talking infants, that adults are giving them these electronic devices and stuff like that, we don't know what that's doing to people as far as spiritual blindness.
Absolutely, we don't know.
And the frequencies.
Yeah.
Because cell phones, they have warned for years, don't carry those on certain parts of your body, that it can do bad things to you.
Exactly.
And so what are we doing? We're putting ourselves in boxes, trapped with this stuff.
Mm-hmm. Yep.
And then we wonder why we don't experience the spiritual.
Yeah. So there we go. There's our answer. It's the electronics.
Because we
need to go back to candlelight.
We've become educated idiots.
We need to go back to no electricity whatsoever and just candlelight.
That may be coming soon.
Oh, I hope.
I hope not. Anyhow. So, hobgoblins. That's something for you to ponder today. If you have a hobgoblin that you would like to mail us to come and do the dusting and sweeping, we would be very kind to the hobgoblin.
We would feed it food.
We would be very grateful to the hobgoblin.
Feed it food, and until we don't need it, we will not offer it clothing.
Well, if it offends it, how do we know? I mean, if we did something that we thought was out of kindness and it took offense.
Is it possible to explain to them, hey, this is just a gift.
I don't know.
This ain't any offense to you. I appreciate your work, so this is a gift.
I don't know. That's one of the things as far as them doing things, but I don't know. I couldn't find any sources of them communicating with the people. They just did. I didn't find any sources that they didn't communicate with the people.
I need to get some old books.
Yeah. Yep. So, anyhow, if
Something landed on you.
Did it land on me? Or as long as it didn't land in my coffee, I'm all right.
I don't see it in your coffee. It was a bug.
Maybe. Are you sure? Are you sure it wasn't a hobgoblin? Maybe we've called them to us.
Oh, please, Mr. Hobgoblins.
I would even share my coffee with the hobgoblins.
Yeah,
I would.
give it drink. Give it wine.
We could do that. Anyhow, you all, if you
wine,
not wine. I don't want the wine is okay. Wine is not. If you all have had experiences with the supernatural, paranormal, encounters with UFOs, aliens, cryptids, the fairy folk, any of those things, if you know local and regional legends and myths, if you have legends and myths within your family, please send us an email and share those things at cupofcoffeewithscream@gmail.com. The email address is always in the description box.
Give us stories.
Yeah, send us stories.
Any kind. Folklore. We love folklore.
Yeah, any of that stuff that you want to share. We love it when we have viewers that share their stories with us.
We do. We really, truly do.
And just that communication.
We appreciate every single viewer that we get.
Yeah. And it's like, especially if it's... Well,
even
anybody,
the lurkers. Hi, lurkers. Y'all are welcome.
Sure you are. And we enjoy talking with people, even if it's just emailing, from different areas. That is just a really cool thing for us.
Absolutely it is.
It's like the lady that I got to speak with on the phone the other day from the Philippines. And she was such a cool lady. And it's like, tell me about your world.
Tell me about your people.
Yeah.
About your culture.
Yeah. We like to learn
Share your culture.
Yeah. So anyhow. Anywho, have a beautiful, blessed day.
I want a hobgoblin. I want a Dobby. I want a Dobby.